Generic 90s grunge song. Every fight is canceled. Generic 90s grunge song. Venues in Seattle. Splitty City Slickers. Welcome once again to Hank the Tank and the Idaho Fight Fan Split Decision Combat Sports Podcast, where we occasionally agree. We concede a point or two, but mostly we would disagree beyond the realm of science and human comprehension. And this time, there's a lot for us to disagree on because there's too much combat sports content this weekend to count. We have to cover boxing, we have to cover kickboxing, we have to cover MMA, every single combat sports in the book you can think of. We have this weekend. And so we are blessed and we are cursed because we love combat sports, Splitty City Slickers, but it takes a lot of time to get through it all, and eventually it'll wear you down. But thankfully for me, I popped a Xanax. I popped whatever energy drink or pill was required. I got a big needle right up there. So I am all energetic for this episode of the Split Decision Combat Sports Podcast. And we're also going to be split once again, as we often are, on whether this Seattle card is going to deliver, because it seems to me like this card is cursed, me mateys. We went from 14 to 13 to 12 to 11 fights, and then we just had a fight replacement recently, literally just a couple hours ago. And so we have to break down an ever-fluctuating card, and I guarantee you, Splitty City Slickers, by the time we're done with our picks for this one, the whole card's going to change once again. So be careful. This stream is dated. It's dated already, but we're going to try our best. God damn it.
Yeah. I think the card will be fine. I'm not worried. UFC is giving me exactly what I think it's going to give me every year. You know,
machine keeps on churning.
Yeah,
for sure. And we've actually got some pretty decent names this time around. Got old Triple C in the main event. Again, a lot of prospects that are going to be slept on. Rob Font just shows up out of nowhere for the card. Gene Silva, the man at featherweight, is going to be there as well. So we're going to get a lot of great action. And speaking of a lot, we have a lot of comments already here for the podcast. Why don't we read through them before we get to our next segment?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jesus. I have to literally, scrolling up takes me a couple seconds. Wholesome alert. Bunny proposed to his wife, Bunny MMA. That's a brand new channel, apparently. They always just, you cut off one head, another one grows back. Rah, rah, rah. Hey, it's Larry CTM, our most beloved better here and on the Split Decision Combat Sports Podcast. Hello, governor. Oh, forgiveness pool. Look at it. Look. Idaho, he's redeemed. He's moved past.
I don't know who any of these people are.
His evil ways. He's become a kind, benevolent soul once again. No casuals. That is, you know, and you don't talk about Split Decision Combat Sports. This is how legends are made. Be careful, we're gonna get chinned in a couple minutes.
What is up with Hank right now?
That was the theme song that Yuri Prohaska came out to when he fought Alex Pereira. This is how legends are made, and then he got head kicked immediately after that. So sad stuff. Hank the Tank, why are you crashing out? I'm in a constant state of crashing out, to be honest. I don't think I've ever crashed in. I don't think I've ever held myself inward. I've always crashed out. When's the next night? A million years away.
I don't think we need to read all these comments. We have a lot
to start out with a crash out. Hey, Pulse Reloaded's here. Life is good even when it's bad. It's still good because it didn't have to happen. That's true. We could all be dead. We could be hit by a car. Is the boxing this weekend? The boxing is this weekend. The boxing is this weekend. And it's what a card it is. It is an absolutely stacked card.
Just look at the thumbnail.
When is the DJ Hayden Fight Companion stream? I don't think I'd be able to book it. Hank,
we don't need oh yeah, thanks, Leather. Appreciate that.
The Pulse has an interesting question. Who y'all got for Parker?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
You will see
in due time. In due time. First on the docket today will be talking about a little bit of kickboxing. There will be Rise, everybody's favorite small Japanese kickboxing promotion that's actually free on Abima. But for that will be Glory. Jamal Ben Sadiq is back. So, what do you know about Jamal Ben Sadiq?
Has he even been on a card that you've broken down before?
No, because he's been in jail.
Oh wow! Okay, I learned that about Ben Sadiq.
Various things,
right, along with the Zaitar brothers, right?
It's funny you mentioned the Zaitar brothers because they're Moroccan as well, and also Badr Hari, one of the most notable names in kickboxing, is also Moroccan. It's Moroccan kickboxers and fighters, man, getting a lot of stuff. Unless your name is Yusuf Zalal,
in which case you're based and you're the most chill dude ever, and you're charismatic.
And you're gonna run in the third round. But anyway, Jamal Ben Sadiq is taking on Jürgen Jürgendal.
Jürgen.
Say that 5 times fast.
Jürgen Jürgendal.
But yeah, I mean, Jamal Ben Sadiq went to war with Rico Verhoeven in their fight.
War, you guys.
And it really showed why Rico is like the Terminator of kickboxing. The guy just didn't die, and that's why he won. But actually, after the fight, he his iPhone like wouldn't recognize his face when he tried to like unlock it. His face. You should go back and watch that fight. It's just insane. So Jamal Ben Sadiq is like the next best kickboxer in glory, despite his 11-7 record. He's just a massive person. So I know, regardless of Jamal Ben Sadiq's many legal troubles and just all around being a terrible guy, you got to separate the art from the artist, much like Sean Strickland. And
much like this little other saying here.
Yeah, looking forward to what he does. Putting on a good, exciting performance. Obviously, this is a numbered glory card, so it should be decent. But I expect some people will fall apart throwing punches. Things will pop out of the socket. And we'll get a lot of weird stuff going on. Glory is not having a good time lately.
Yeah. If there aren't at least 2 or 3 kickboxers leaving the ring mid-fight, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and they just announced a heavyweight Grand Prix, and that's going to be
wonderful.
So yeah, anyway, Jamal Ben Sadiq, people, back headlining this glory card. It should be a crap fest, but still fun. Cassius Clay versus Chuck Wepner.
That very specific fight.
I mean, I've heard of Chuck Wepner. He did fight quite a bit in the 70s and 80s, but no thoughts.
I've had cats my entire life, so you know my answer.
Dogs all day. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on with Glory.
Split decision combat sports. We're split on this stuff, man.
There's not really much else to talk about with Glory because like there's a lot of showcase fights in Glory these days, and they're protecting a lot of their bigger names, much like top ranked boxing. Anyway,
yeah. Is this the segment of the show where we go over Hank's locks and underdogs for all of regional MMA? Yeah. Well, strap in, guys, because it is going to be a long road trip. I got 4 shows I'm going to cover this time, starting with the great KSW in Poland, 103 Brichta versus Jarzewski. I am going with my lock first, and my lock is a man by the name of Stephen Kurt, brother. Yee! He may look like he's from Alabama, but he's actually from Yuri Prohaska land of fake samurais. He is from the Czech Republic. He's been getting knocked out after unanimous decision, after doctor stoppage. Actually, honestly, he's not that much of a power puncher, but his opponent isn't that great. 10-3 lost to him. 9-2 lost to him. Oh, another 10-3 split decision. He should honestly be on a 4-fight losing streak. So, given that's KSW, given that most of these guys are on roids, I think Stephen Kurt is just going to flatline him just out of nowhere in round 2. So, stack them up. And then who do I have as my underdog for this thing? I see. All right, let me show him.
Wait. So why is every fighter on steroids in KSW but not in the UFC?
Because they're open about it. Because they're open about it. And therefore we factually know.
Are they actually open about it? What proof do you have of that?
Worst kept secret. Anyway, on to my underdog for KSW. I'm in business with them, okay? I can't reveal trade secrets.
Dude,
I'm a sponsor.
Most fighters and high-level athletes are on steroids.
That's everybody's on steroids.
I don't know why. I don't know why this is so hard.
They're visually on steroids, and they also have giant sponsorships all over themselves. Idaho. They're on drugs. Anyway,
Sponsorships.
my big underdog is a man by the name of Alexei Polachuk, brother. Jesus. Yeah, he was a underdog on Tapology. This guy, he's from France, apparently, but and he lost to a 9-5 guy, sort of mid 11-5. He goes to decisions a lot. Meanwhile, this guy's a finisher, loses to mostly contenders in KSW, and for that reason, I think he's going to have the power and the purpose to put 2 and 2 together. I don't think he's going to go to a decision with Roger Labes. That is not KSW style. So give me Polachuk to get the round 2 knockout. And I've just realized, man, a lot of my underdogs that end up cashing, most of them happen by finish.
Cashing? So you're betting on these?
Yeah, cashing in terms of dopamine.
You've never bet on a fight in your life?
Wait, what?
You've never bet on a fight in your life?
Yeah, it is true. But I am more emotional about picks than I am about bets. So honestly, maybe I should switch to betting. Maybe it would be better for me mentally. Anyway, let's get to our next one. This is LFA 202, Nakuda versus Garcia, and I believe my lock is in the main event. While I'm loading it up, do we have any comments?
Yeah, there's a lot. They're asking you to skip KSW. It's already over.
It's over. It is all over. Fumi Nakuda. I'm going to pick this guy by decision. Yes. This is my lock. I think he's really solid. Apparently, this guy was supposed to be on Dana White's Contender Series like twice over. But for some reason, Sean Shelby doesn't like this guy, even though he's got a pretty flashy style and he's a dominant champion. Just won't get let into Dana White's Contender Series. So he has to take out his ruthless aggression onto all the LFA bums.
Is he 30?
And, what?
Is he 30?
No. Oh, he's scratching it. He's coming close. He's just scratching the surface, and Dana White's 30 radar is blinking right now. But I think he's still pretty solid. Getting some finishes, but he gets it done by knockout. He gets it done by submission. He gets it done by decision. Meanwhile, this guy Adrian Garcia, majority draw against a 4-1 guy, 10-4 loses to him. And to be fair, he did get a solid win in LFA, but I just think Nakuda is established enough that everybody knows that he's Dana White Contender Series material. So I'm just going to pick him by decision. I think it's a very clear main event. And then speaking of Dana White's Contender Series, this is a failed Dana White's Contender Series fighters right here. 4 months ago, Mr. Philip Latu lost via left hook to Navajo Sterling, also known as Pennywise
the guy with the weird face tattoo, right?
Yes. And so Idaho was very satisfied when he got completely put out cold by Navajo Sterling. And honestly, I think that loss just keeps aging like milk because Navajo Sterling had a rotten performance in his last fight. I remember it was some scrub they brought in off the regionals for him to beat up. And then it was honestly one of the worst performances from a rookie who won in the UFC that I've ever seen. So the fact that this guy got completely knocked out cold by Navajo Sterling with one punch, that makes me want to favor this guy right here. Even though he's 40, he's still 6-0, experienced kickboxer, Joe Taylor. Fought some pretty solid competition, getting some finishes. I just think this guy has actual power. Philip Latu is a big blob who has terrible face makeup. And if you find a way for Navajo Sterling to knock you out, I think Taylor can at the very least win a decision. And you know what? What the hell? He's a fucking underdog. I got him by round 2 knockout. So there you go. LFA out of the way. And then we are about halfway through. I believe we have Octagon next or what? No. Oh, no. It's UAE Warriors 58. Who do I have as my lock and underdog for this thing?
I thought you didn't like UAE Warriors.
I know. I didn't. But it just showed up out of the blue while I was doing locks and underdogs. So I was like, I got time. I can do it. So I went through it. Why not? For you guys, dude. For you fucking guys. And I'm picking Victor Nunes as my lock by round 1 KO. 0-1, guys. Split decision win. Everybody else who has a winning record has smoked this poor guy from the Philippines. His face looks like a freaking beaten up baseball glove. Meanwhile, Victor Nunes is getting knockouts in UAE and beating some pretty solid names. Ali Taleb, the only guy he lost to, and Ali Taleb is the PFL tournament winner from last year. So he's actually pretty damn good. So I think Victor Nunes gets it done fairly easily. And then my underdog for UAE Warriors is a man by the name of Amir Hussein Alipur against a 1-0 guy, Chuck Norris. Man, I considered switching my pick to Chuck Norris. I mean, look at those guns, man. Dude, you don't want to F around with this guy. He's packing heat. But
yeah, Chuck Norris,
unfortunately,
he hasn't been the same since he died in the Roman Coliseum.
After a cat and then Bruce Lee finished him off. But he hasn't had an MMA fight since 3 years and 8 months ago, and that's because Bruce Lee killed him. And then he came back because Chuck Norris, he always comes back from the dead, dude. He's always relevant. And he's taken on this man, Amir, who has actually had 3 fights at the professional level. Lost to a 2-0 guy, but the 3-1 guy he beat. I think taking on a guy with 1 professional win, I think might be even easier than a 3-1 guy. So for that reason, I'm going to take him by decision. I think that's a pretty clear choice for me. And then we have our final regional MMA lock and underdog sesh, and that is for Octagon 67. And there's a lady I know by the name of Lucia Zabova, and I'm picking her by decision here against Kalindra Faria. Just look at that lovely record from Miss Faria. 1 win 2 years ago, and it's been just losing and losing and losing before and after. Whereas Zabova, remember, was supposed to fight for a title in Octagon, and she got replaced.
How would I know? How would I know that?
Yeah. You obviously, you know, because you pay attention very, very closely to Hank's locks and underdogs. Yeah, he's my biggest fan. He's my biggest subscriber, man, most loyal. But Sabova was supposed to fight for a belt, and she's just lowering herself to taking on this chick who's lost 4 of her last 5 fights. Despicable. But I think she's still going to win by decision because it's women's MMA. And then we have, speaking of which, hey, no women's MMA for the UFC Seattle card. So all you misogynist pigs out there are going to really get your rocks off this time. Anyway, then we have, no Diddy, we have Beno Adamia winning a decision against Sam Creasy. I think this kid's got power. I think he's been on a hot streak in Octagon, obviously. He's fighting for a flyweight title. And you don't exactly have to get finishes to be a great contender. Whereas this guy, Sam Creasy, from what I had heard, he's having close decision wins and submissions against these, guys with 2 or 3 losses on their record already. And these guys are finding a way to chin Sam Creasy, man. His chin's greasy. It's made of glass, man. So I can't trust the greasy chin of Sam Creasy. So I think I'm going to go with the Damia to crack him at some point. And then because it's flyweight, somehow doesn't find a way to finish him and instead wins a pretty dominant decision as the challenger, as Hank's last underdog for the week. And there you have it.
Don't forget, man, flyweight unders and heavyweight overs have been popping lately.
People forget, man.
So we're going to get into One Championship's return to Qatar. So stop me. Obviously, Cade Ruotolo fighting in MMA is exciting, I guess. I mean, what do you think about Cade in MMA?
I think I was actually impressed with his last performance because he was able to actually knock his opponent down, if I'm not mistaken, before he got submission. So I think he's actually starting to adapt to MMA pretty damn well. And honestly, there's not a lot to dislike about Cade Ruotolo. I mean, he's branching out of grappling. He was a solid grappler before, having some entertaining contests. I got no problem with him, man. I love guys who transition between sports.
Yeah, the thing about one is, they're gonna build you really good. It's a lot like Bellator, right? Like they're gonna build you good, but then it becomes a question of like, did you get built in a way that like actually makes you good, or was it like, did you get built in a way that
Top Rank Promotions does with most of its spots?
Yeah, where you were protected. So
yeah,
but Cade has a lot of skill. And he wants to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes guys transition over to MMA and they don't like getting hit. So but that's the thing, is we really haven't seen Cade in like a position where he's been getting beat or like hit or beat up. You know what I'm saying? So I guess once that happens, I don't think that this guy, Nicholas Vigna, is going to do that to him. Never heard of this guy. But I am excited to see what Cade does. So, somewhat of a draw, I guess you could say. Jake Peacock is back in Muay Thai. You know who this guy
Hey,
is?
one-armed man, the one-armed man. It wasn't
Yep.
me. It was the one-armed man.
I'm not a fan of one arm dudes fighting in MMA or combat sports personally. It's just like, dude, what are you gonna do? Hit me with your nub? But this
You
guy's
can.
decent. To me, it's just like I don't get it, but whatever. He goes out there and he puts on a good show.
He's an inspiration.
We have Viviano Fernandez still somehow fighting in one. Going up against another vet.
I think I
Martin
picked
Nguyen,
Fernandez in that fight.
Emil Gazanov. I probably got Gazanov in that.
Yeah, I've
one,
got
but,
Gazanov by decision. He always does.
Yeah. Onglaw and Song still fighting in MMA, dude.
And still fighting the exact same guy he fought last time. He kicked his ass.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, one championship, dude. Well, we'll talk about kind of some more stuff. Iniachi is back against a man named Pechatong
Ferguson.
Hilarious.
It's Ty.
I like Iniachi though. He's a really good kickboxer. Roberto Soldic.
Man,
Didn't he
poor
fight?
guy.
Didn't he come to the UFC?
No, I think he went to another promotion.
Okay. Still trapped in one.
Yep.
Still trapped in one.
Shot in jail.
Taking on a man named Doggy. Haggerty's taking on a guy I've never heard of in my entire life. Haggerty got chinned with the first strike.
Yeah, that's the bounce back
through.
That's the bounce back win.
And then obviously you've got Pasio and Brooks after what was it? Pasio slammed him on his head, or was it
Brooks slammed Pasio on his head, broke his neck, and he had to be carted out with the belt on his shoulders.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So this is once return to Cutter, and it's like it's always MMA heavy when they do their big shows, which I think is a mistake.
Right.
Obviously, when I went to 168 in Denver, they mixed it really well with the Muay Thai and the they mixed it really well with the Muay Thai, kickboxing, and the MMA, which I didn't feel like they did as much in their last show in Denver, headlined by Demetrius Johnson. And then obviously the card with Nabil and the card we just was 117.
Yeah, Nabil versus
Carrillo.
Yeah, it was that white guy. Oh yeah, Carrillo. Yes, Carrillo. Exactly, Nico Carrillo.
Like those cards are amazing, you know, and
for sure.
I just when it's MMA, like this card's obviously better than that one that was Malakin and Arjun Buller.
Rugrug.
No. Arjun Buller is the last time they went to Cutter. So that card was trash, and so like this card is obviously better. There's some more competitive matches, but like it's gonna kind of just be a whimper if you ask me. Headlining Pasio and Brooks rematch, and then having Haggerty fight a bum, like
not.
I don't know, man. I love one, but and shout out to our friend Phil CST. He said that one's gonna like really put more of a focus on MMA again this year. I don't really care because I don't know what it is. One MMA is just stale these days.
It is. Yeah. So it's unattractive.
I don't have high expectations for this card.
Also, why would you put Jared Brooks in the one main event when the dude literally lost to a contender in his last fight? People forget, man. He lost a decision to some random guy who just beat him. Just stuffed all his takedowns. Beat him.
Yeah, but he's still the. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense because the dude. This is kind of a fight that needs to happen, right? Yeah. Right. He lost to Reese McLaren. That's right.
Yeah, but he lost a lot of stock. So I don't know why they're having him in the co-main, but not Jonathan Haggerty in the main. I get it's a bum for sure. I get that's probably the reason why, but it's Jonathan Haggerty. It's Jonathan Haggerty's not Jared Brooks.
Weiru is good, but we don't know much about him. Former champion in K1, it seems, and in China, so like Wulin Fang or some
Jesus.
Shout
out to Romaine HQ. A lot of those guys now follow the channel.
I don't know what that is, but yeah, cool. Thanks. But yeah, anyway, any other thoughts on this card? Again, I don't have high expectations for it.
I mean, we could get some finishes. And again, that's the thing about MMA cards. Like sometimes they look absolutely rotten and then they absolutely deliver. And then the ones that look fantastic and you're just really anticipating are usually shit the bed. So I don't know what to think. Maybe it'll be one of the better cards that one puts out. Who knows?
Yeah, well, Fistful of Leather says one doesn't have many stars left, but in MMA they don't,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
in kickboxing and in
They
and
have all
in
the stars.
yeah, but they don't match them up right or against each other.
Right.
It's just like a
Yeah.
constant weird thing. So yeah, in MMA they don't, but you know they're trying, but it's just it's not hitting, you know. And then
I mean, it's
also
what
like
PFL's doing with its UFC rejects, you know?
I mean, it's not hitting because it's region based. Like the crowd already doesn't really care about like when they go to Lumpini Boxing Stadium, like they don't really care about the MMA. And then I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, that's one
Makes me sad.
and neck and cutter. So
Yeah.
hopefully they have a exciting card. That's all we can really hope for.
I mean, that's what you can hope for from any MMA card. Because the thing about sports is it's usually not what you expect it to be. And that could be a great thing. That could be a terrible thing.
Anglong Sa is getting old to say the least. Yeah, the guy looks pretty washed to me these days. But anyway, so let's move on to boxing. So I'm going to start with Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov. But if there's any fights before that, you let me know if you're interested in them or if you have any thoughts.
Okay, sounds good.
So, and I'll make some picks for this one. So I guess I could scroll down. There is Callum Smith versus Joshua Boutsy. You know anything about this fight?
Yes, and I picked Boutsy to win because I believe he beat a guy who I predicted as an underdog and beat him actually fairly handily. So
yeah,
I think he's probably pretty underrated.
Willie Hutchinson probably.
Yes, he beat Willie Hutchinson.
Yeah.
All reliable.
And then there's just some prospects that I don't know anything about. 6-rounders, cards opening up with another 6-rounder. Any thoughts on these fights?
Let me take a look. Oh my, yeah, those just happened. Dude, I remember this guy, Muhammad Alakel. I swear he's on every prelim card for a big fight that's happening in.
He's only has a 2-0 professional record at the moment.
Yeah, but I remember him. I remember he beat Joshua Campo. I don't know. That's all I got to say, man. That's all I remember from him.
All right, so Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Israel Madrimov for the interim WBC World Super Welterweight title. That is a mouthful. So this is Virgil Ortiz. I think he did fight at 147 for a while. Boachuk, Delorme. So yeah, he's kind of floating between 147 and 154. You ever heard of Rhabdo?
Grabdo?
Rhabdo. It's like a disease that high-level athletes get from training too hard.
Huh. I didn't know about that. Is that like the equivalent of MMA staph?
No, it's like your body like shuts down. Anyway, this is what kind of had halted Virgil Ortiz's career for a while. He was supposed to get some big fights, and then like Rhabdo took him out. So
never heard. How have I never heard about that?
Yeah, you should check it out. Like maybe look at it. It's kind of interesting, I guess, that just Virgil Ortiz had suffered from this. But in Virgil Ortiz's last 5 fights, Cal Velasquez is a guy, Mean Machine. He's a guy who had dropped Bud Crawford. That's like his biggest claim to fame. Beating up on just bums. Frederick Lawson. This fight was embarrassing. I don't know if you remember, but Tony Weeks had stopped the fight like as Frederick Lawson was like throwing punches.
Oh, that's right.
He made a post afterwards.
I can't forget that.
Saying that the guy like didn't pass a brain scan and that's why he stopped the fight. Anyway, super controversial.
Ridiculous.
Beating up Delorme, kind of an older, somewhat of a name guy, and then obviously beating Sergey Boachuk.
In a great fight.
So this is kind of like the consequence of being promoted by Oscar De La Hoya, right? But finally, Virgil gets his shot at an interim title against Israel Madrimov, who we all know well from his fight with Terrence Crawford.
Good fight.
Obviously,
I mean, not good as in fun, but good as in he put in a great effort.
Yeah, 100%. Surprised us, right? Because I think a lot of people were just expecting Bud to just go out there and knock him out, and then he had made Bud kind of look tentative, and we kind of saw that Bud can box technically.
Mhm.
But anyway, he's coming back, trying to get a bounce back win over Virgil Ortiz. So two of Israel Madrimov's biggest fights, back to back. So I'm happy for the guy that he looked good against Bud, and now he's getting a fight with Virgil. But man, the thing about Virgil Ortiz is like once he gets going, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like it just there's not much to say. Like you're just fucked. Virgil Ortiz just like storms downhill on you. Madrimov, on the other hand, people were calling him like a mini Triple G kind of guy. We didn't see much of that versus Terrence Crawford, so this is kind of an interesting fight to me. I think Virgil Ortiz makes it a more exciting fight than because he's such an aggressive boxer.
For
Makes
sure.
it an exciting fight than the one with Bud. I think that you'll see Israel Madrimov win some rounds, but I think that either Madrimov will win the early rounds and then Virgil will kind of just take over the fight, or
Right.
the opposite will be true, and Virgil will kind of take over the early to mid portion of the fight, and then Madrimov will kind of find his groove and start winning rounds. But I think if you see a knockout, it'll come from Virgil. If you see a decision win, it'll come from Madrimov. I don't think Madrimov's ever been knocked out. Yeah, his one loss was to Terrence Crawford. Virgil Ortiz undefeated. I'm going to go with Virgil Ortiz by decision. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I am actually going to go with Madrimov. I'm picking Madrimov by decision. I was super impressed with this fight against Terrence Crawford. I just thought he was great technically. I thought his combinations were powerful and precise. Again, he had a perfect performance, and who was it against? This guy, Magomed Kurbanov, just beat the brakes off of him, and his pressure game was super good. I think that's why you said he was like, oh, he's sort of a Triple G kind of guy. He's great.
Some people were saying I didn't see any of that in the Bud fight.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, I think he really impressed me against Terrence Crawford in that. In my opinion, I think that fight came down to a round or two, and Crawford was lucky enough to win those rounds. But I could easily see a judge giving it to Madrimov, so he could be, a welterweight champion of the world in boxing in another dimension. And Virgil Ortiz, you have given me sort of a lesson about his fighting style, and that he's sort of a boxer that takes over, and it's hard to like get out of the hole once he puts you in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I think Madrimov is so excellent in terms of his pressure game, and there are just times where he's on a roll, and then you can't stop him. And he almost took the belt from Terrence Crawford. So for that reason, I think he's still highly underrated. And I think he's going to shock the world. I think he's going to beat Virgil Ortiz Jr. The
thing about Madrimov's last performance, and this is all that I know about him, right, is just based off his last performance.
Right.
Just, he didn't do a lot. So
seems like neither man did.
Sure. But I think that the reason why this fight is much more intriguing to me is just because Virgil is just a much more aggressive boxer than Terrence Crawford is. Like, he's just trying to get on the inside and just no diddy and just wail on you. There's not really much else to his game.
Bring out the baby oil.
Very exciting boxer. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like the more technical side of Madrimov versus the brawler that is Virgil Ortiz. Leather's got some insight on this one.
Nice piss break, says Chummy Boy.
He's talking about the MMA fights in one championship.
Is that what Hamzat has, the boxing disease?
No. The guy's just sick all the time.
Darn.
Ortiz versus Boachuk was good. It was a fantastic fight. It was another one of those fights where you're like, oh, here comes Virgil just going to steamroll this guy, and then turned out to be a very competitive match. Isn't Boachuk versus Ortiz 2 already booked? I haven't heard anything about that. I don't really keep up too much on.
Might have been booked at some point.
He just fought Ishmael Davis. Davis was a series tune-up. They're really going to go for that rematch. Yeah, most likely because that fight was so exciting. But yeah, I'm glad that we're already kind of split on one of these fights. So the next fight will be Zhilei Zhang versus Ajit Kabiel for the interim WBC heavyweight title. A lot of interim titles going on here.
He'll be Zhang, obviously, that interim title forever.
Zhang, obviously, the 41-year-old heavyweight, last knocking out Deontay Wilder, broke my heart. Lost the decision to Parker. Knocked out Joe Joyce 2 times. and then lost the decision to Hrgovic, which I thought he actually had won. Ajit Kabiel on the other side is just steamrolling dudes. Arslanbek Makhmudov,
Poor guy, dude.
They look really scary at first, and then Ajit Kabiel just knocked him out. And then Frank Sanchez is a really technical boxer, so it was interesting to see Ajit Kabiel kind of knock him out. Dude, Zhang is just one of the slowest heavyweights in the division. Just a little faster than Joe Joyce, and that was why Zhang was able to knock him out. So
brutal.
I mean, if Zhang can catch you, the guy's got a lot of power. But honestly, man, this is pretty clear cut. Pretty clear cut win for Kabiel. I don't think that Zhang gets knocked out, but I think Kabiel just kind of styles on him the whole fight. I don't think that there's any moment where the fight is in doubt.
Right.
Zhang's 41, and he's heavyweight. You can have a lot longer career as a heavyweight boxer, but dude, I don't really see a hope or a prayer for Zhang to win this fight.
Sad stuff.
Also, where is this taking place?
I think it's not taking place in the Middle East. I think is it taking place in where is it? I mean, let me look at it real quick.
Leather says Kabiel is great. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about boxers, though, dude, is you never really know how good they are because they don't fight enough high level competition.
Oh no, it's in Riyadh.
All right, cool. Ty's going big bang. All right, there you go. Yeah,
I'll enjoy that.
No, yeah, but the way he wins is he's got to knock Kabiel out. Like I don't see he can.
I don't think he can
see him beating him by decision. But anyway, what's your thoughts on this one?
I think he wins by decision. I think he's got a great pressure game. One thing I will say is that Kabiel's bread and butter is sort of pressuring forward. So that's sort of the chance that Zhang has to sort of hit him with a big counter. But at the same time, I feel like Zhang's going to sort of gas as this fight goes on. When he fails to get the finish, and Kabiel's just pushing him up against the ropes, hitting him with a bunch of body shots. And I think as he keeps on hitting Zhang to the body, I think he's going to start slowing down quite a bit. I don't know. One guy's getting older, other guy's entering his prime. I feel like Agit Kabiel's approach is just a hard one to beat when you got the sort of power punching style of Zhilei Zhang. I get it's like pressure and output versus low output, but a lot of power. But we saw what happened against Joseph Parker. He beat up Joseph Parker. He knocked him down, and Parker still found a way to come back and win against him. Whereas Kabiel, I think there's a way lower chance that he ends up getting dropped and hurt by Zhilei Zhang, and that is his key to victory, as Idaho said. So I don't think there's a path to victory.
Adames versus Shiraz is for an actual title. I expect Shiraz to win this fight. Probably. I don't know. I mean, again, it's just another case of like a young dude where we don't really know exactly how good he is. Has some sick knockouts, but I'll just go safe and pick him by decision. Do you have any thoughts on this matchup here?
Not many, because I did the exact same pick that you did. I feel like Adams is a tough guy to put away. I don't think anyone's shinned him as of late. I know that Shiraz might be the kind of boxer that can do that, but I think he was able to survive a lot of the rounds against Austin Williams. I think this fight's going to play out a lot like that, where it's Adams doing very well early. Shiraz starts to come back, figure out his rhythm, find some good counters. But I don't think he's going to find the finish. He could knock down Adams. I'm not excluding that because this guy is long, lanky, and very powerful. But at the same time, I just don't think Adams has that key to victory against Hamza. I don't think he can figure out the code of Hamza Shiraz. I mean, if he finds that perfect shot through the long-ass guard of Hamza Shiraz, he could clip him, but I feel like he's more of like a technical point fighter, and I think that Shiraz's power is going to make the difference here. So I think he gets a few knockdowns that end up winning him the fight.
Ty says Zhang should have won that Parker fight, even though Parker looked good in the end. Yeah, but see, Zhang just doesn't do enough unless he knocks you out. I think I think he's had like a fight that was like the least amount of punches thrown in a heavyweight, like heavyweight main event or something like that.
Huh.
I mean, he's not very active, so that's the thing. That's why Joseph Parker was able to beat him, by majority decision. And then the next fight, speaking of Joseph Parker, is the heavyweight champion, Daniel Dubois. Well, is he the heavyweight champion? Not undisputed, but he is the man who knocked out Anthony Joshua. People have been like torn on this fight. They don't know who's gonna win. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Daniel Dubois is gonna fucking smoke Joseph Parker. I mean, Joseph Parker is he's a heavyweight that's good everywhere, but like not exceptional at anything. Lost to most of the big names he's ever fought, unless it was Deontay Wilder.
Oh, brother.
Damn it. But it's just like, dude, Joseph Parker is just not. He's kind of smaller for a heavyweight. I don't know, dude. Like
heavyweight, very annoying.
I think that Daniel Dubois is just reinvigorated, and people don't remember. I didn't want to say people forget,
man.
Because I knew Hank was going to say that. Dude, this guy's still young. He's still very young.
He is.
Daniel Dubois is only 27.
They're both pretty young.
He's just hitting his stride, man. And he's fought a lot of high level guys for a young heavyweight champion. Dude, Daniel Dubois got this on lock, dude. The only question is like, is Daniel Dubois buying into his own hype?
Please.
What?
I really hope that Daniel Dubois knocks Joseph Parker out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
It's so fucking boring, dude. And he beats a bunch of guys that are entertaining. So I'm done with them.
Yeah, for sure. I got you. Dubois steamrolls, dude.
There you go. Yeah, I think Dubois has a lot of power compared to Joseph Parker. Then again, Zhilei Zhang did as well, and Deontay Wilder did as well. But both those guys are getting up there in age.
Well, they weren't active enough to beat Joseph Parker.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Daniel Dubois is active, and I think he is in his prime, and he's very young, as Idaho said. I mean, what's the age gap between him and like Wilder and Zhang?
Oh, I don't know.
It's got to be like close to 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? So I think he's in shape.
41.
I don't think Dubois has a belly. I think he keeps himself in good shape, and he's got power in his fists. So he's got both the athleticism and the power. And Joseph Parker is just sort of a plotty kind of heavyweight boxer, in my opinion. And he got dropped by Zhilei Zhang, like twice, I believe. Still found a way to win, but he got dropped. And with Daniel Dubois, he's a guy that just drops you. He just like onslaught, drop you. So, well, at least he was against
this new version of Dubois. This new version of Dubois is that.
New version is great. Yeah. So I think it's going to be too much for Joseph Parker to handle. And if Dubois is smart, he'll go to the body and he'll be very technical. And he'll just, I think he'll wait until like halfway through the fight and then really fucking pour it on and finish him. I think that's how you beat Joseph Parker. You make sure he doesn't come back.
Easy pick for me. Do you understand why people are like saying that Joseph Parker is going to win this fight?
It's because they've got their hearts broken too many times, so they're not going to pick against him again. I think they're afraid of it. So
I guess the Shakur Stevenson match is off.
Oh yeah, that was on the card and I picked it. What happened to that?
Yeah, I guess that Stevenson's opponent he pulled out of the fight. I guess, which sucks. Well,
I mean that the entertainment value of this card just went up exponentially.
Yeah, look, man. I mean, is Shakur Stevenson a fantastic boxer, like generationally talented boxer, in your opinion?
I think he is at what he does. I just don't think I just don't think it translates to people liking you.
Yeah, but I mean, which fights were the ones that made you think that way about Shakur Stevenson?
I think it was when he won his first world title belt, and I remember watching it with my dad, and it was really impressive how he picked his opponent apart, like easily to win the title. That's what I remember. I just think as champion, he's been quite underwhelming, but his rise to the top was fantastic, in my opinion.
Not generationally, but he's great, bro. I disagree with you guys. I mean, I think Shakur Stevenson might be one of the best boxers in the world, like at the current moment, like top 15 boxer in the world. And I don't think that entertainment value is. I mean, people want to see knockouts. I get that, and I'm not even sitting here saying that Shakur Stevenson's last 3 fights weren't boring, because they were. But when he has a guy that's like trying to move forward on him and not have a boxing match with him, because if you have a boxing match with Shakur Stevenson and try to have a chess match with him, you lose every time.
Right.
But when God, what is that fucking guy's name?
That's why I want Ryan Garcia to take his fucking head off his shoulders one day. Or
What is that guy's name that Navarrete beat up on?
Oh, Conseco? Oh wait, no. It was some no. Oh, yeah, who was it? Wasn't he called like the Golden Boy or something, and then he got destroyed?
Yeah, so he knocked out this guy so viciously, I remember.
Duarte?
Oh my god. No, you're getting closer, but hold on, let me just look it up. I'm sorry, I have to look it up because I have to talk about this guy.
Yeah.
He had gotten busted for steroids as well. You can read some comments while I'm
all right.
looking for his name.
I'd say the last 5 fights of Shakur have been impressive, but he's boring as of late. So are you just asking based on skill? That's a good question.
So okay, let me tell you his last 5 fights. Artur Hartunanian, Edwin De Los Santos, Yoshino, Hobson Conceição, and Oscar Valdez. So
yes,
Oscar Valdez.
Destroyed.
So I watched him beat Nakatia, and then he whooped up on Jamel Herring. A long time. I mean, he knocked out Nakatia. He damn near knocked out Jamel Herring. That was my first fight I ever saw of him. Super impressive. And then he knocked out Valdez, which was amazing. And that was his best fight to me. But Valdez is the kind of guy that just wants to move forward and knock you out, you know? No real game plan going.
Right.
The Conceição fight was good. Yoshino fight was decent. And then the De Los Santos and Artur Hernanian fight were boring as hell. And there's no defense for that. But it's like the last 2 fights of this really young kid, and people are going to just call him this boring, like not extremely talented boxer. It makes no sense to me. He's boring. Yeah. But I'm telling you, like, what fights of his were boring? His last 2 fights, in my opinion, were boring. But the kid's still super young, and he has a lot of knockouts. Like,
but
maybe not a lot, but you know, I don't know.
The question is, do you think he has the ability to evolve as a boxer, or do you think he's set in his ways?
No, dude, he's still so young. I mean, nah, man, he's. I think he's having a hard time because the fans are grilling him really hard, and he's not making it any better by like saying he's going to retire and all that stuff. But anyway, we got some real heavyweight, or not heavyweight. Sorry, we got some real main event boxing going down. It's Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol Dos. Hey, what is up, SS Jackson? He says Beterbiev smish. All of his recent fights haven't been that entertaining. Yeah, I disagree with you, but you're entitled to your opinion, my friend. Bivol decision. So, Artur Beterbiev, the Terminator. All of his fights have been, 100% finishing rate until he ran into Dimitri Bivol, which this fight was really exciting. And again, no knockout, no knockdown. Was there a knockdown? I don't think there was a knockdown.
No,
but this fight was just
there's some big ooh and ah moments. Mostly.
This is just a relentless pace of just
it's better be
fantastic boxing.
Yeah,
this fight was so amazing. One of the best boxing matches I've ever seen without a knockdown. Oh man, the fight was so close last time. I didn't know who to call it for. I just said draw. But Beterbiev got it done, and Bivol's ex-wife, was hating on him hard, sending Beterbiev lots of all of his weaknesses. That was hilarious.
Don't give in to gold digging horse.
Did you see her reaction when she oh
yeah, she celebrated.
You know what Bivol did to her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying gold digging, but I think she has a valid reason to not like this man.
No. I'm not saying she's gold digging. I'm saying the guy that he left her for.
Okay.
That he left her for is a gold digger.
Okay, got it. But anyway, dude, I don't even know what to say about this fight. Like, I just know I wish I had more like technical breakdown to give you. but I just really don't. This is going to be one of the best boxing matches of the year. And I think it just goes to another close decision because both these guys are so high level and at the peak of their powers. The only thing is that obviously Beterbiev is much older and on the decline, as far as age is concerned. I mean, not as far as like performance in the ring, but bro, I don't even know who's going to win this fight. Like, I might even just say it's going to be a draw.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
I got Bivol by decision. Sad because I picked Beterbiev the first time, but something tells me, dude, Turkey's real mad. Turkey's very upset with that first decision. And so I think there's a really good chance that Beterbiev wins on my
so that weighs into who wins?
I think it can. I mean, this is boxing we're talking about. Come on. It is a marquee main event. We've seen this shit happen before. I think Beterbiev's going to have the spiritual victory. I'm going to call it on my scorecards. It's for Beterbiev. And then next thing you know, split decision win Bivol. I think that's how it's going to work. It's usually how it goes.
I'm going to go split draw.
All right. Well, better put some money on it.
I might. What is up, No Chill? You like how No Chill like never comes in to talk to us anymore? He just tells us what's going on in his world all the time.
That's what he does.
Claiming Lucas Tracy stole a video from him. That sucks, man.
Damn.
But it is good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Oh, keep
Bivol is
you won't steal
Bivol is better skill-wise. IMO Beterbiev will come out even more confident in the first fight. I think that's fair. Yeah, the thing about Bivol is like the guy doesn't really knock anybody out.
No, he doesn't. He just pressures them and beats them up over 12 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, let's get into the nitty-gritty, what everybody wants to hear from us. It is our UFC picks and predictions. 3-2 is the record at the moment.
Yeah. I'm getting back there.
Hank's trying to storm back. But anyway, we got another card to break down. So let's get right into it, man. Modestas Bukauskas versus Rafael Cerqueira.
The Quiria, yes.
Second place at 205. Bukauskas is 16-6. 4-1 in his last 5, minus 325 as the favorite. He's 31. Rafael, who the hell is this guy? He got knocked out by Ebo. Oh yeah, I remember.
And he was a big Brazilian heavyweight who just knocked out a bunch of fools on the regionals.
Okay, right. So he's trying to bounce back against Bukauskas, moving down a weight class. He's 11-1. His only loss was to Ebo Aslan, who I believe is on this card, right?
Yes, he is. Further up.
1 his last 5. Plus 260 as the underdog, 34. So Bukauskas last beat Prachnio by submission. Got knocked out by Vitor Petrino, and this is when we were all like, dude, Vitor Petrino's that guy. Tyson. So he's basically he was doing really good in Cage Warriors, and then he kind of just woke up on bums and didn't look very good. I do respect Marcin Prachnio's MMA game. Like he's another guy just not super good at anything, but like decent. It was a pretty exciting fight from what I remember as well.
Yes, it was very back and forth. There were moments where Modestas is outstriking him, and then Prachnio, question mark kick. Oh, he's got him in the third round. Oh, takedown. That's so I think
this guy Rafael had a really bad late notice performance against Ebo Aslan.
Real bad.
And you got to remember, he got knocked out 3 months ago. I never like picking anybody that got knocked out 3 months ago. But Modestas Bukauskas is not the most like heavy-handed knockout threat there is. I'm gonna go. Oh, almost sneezed there. I'm gonna go Bukauskas by decision. I'm gonna play it safe. The Skatesman way.
And of course, I'm gonna go the Hank the Tank way, and say he gets the first round knockout. That's right, wow. Modestas Bukauskas round knockout power. Rafael Cerqueira crumbled against the cage as soon as he started his fight with Ebo Aslan, leaning against the fence and just eating shots over and over again until the referee mercifully stepped in. I think he would still be standing there taking punishment if the referee hadn't been there. Modestas Bukauskas got caught on occasion by Marcin Prachnio, But between those moments, he was beating up Marcin, and Rafael isn't even tough enough. Are you tough enough to make it to a second round if he gets clipped? So I think Modestas does to Rafael what he was doing to Prachnio before that fluke question mark kick hit him, and forces the referee to do his job again and probably make the UFC do their jobs and fire the Brazilian scrub. The Baltic Gladiator is going to slay the lion for the whole Coliseum to witness, and hopefully Dana gives him a thumbs up instead of a thumbs down. Are you not entertained? And no, not you, Cortavius. You go back to the fucking regionals.
Yeah, and that it's more likely that he gets knocked out because he got knocked out 3 months ago. You got to let the brain recover, man. Take at least 6 months off.
Dead chin.
Also,
if you remember, he was up against the cage from the start. Like, he was backing up.
Yeah, he got pressured immediately. Yeah, it was like
he's got a losing mentality.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Peter Yan? I love Peter Yan. I love watching him fight.
I love Peter Yan.
Great guy, dude. Me and Peter Yan. Do you remember?
Everybody in Russia knows me. I love Peter Yan.
We love to play football together and eat babushka. Everybody loves him.
All right, next fight taking place at middleweight is Nursultan Ruzabayev versus Eric Mekonico.
Mekonico.
All right. Nursultan Ruzabayev is 34-9-2. Jeez, beating up a lot of scrubs over there in Uzbekistan. He is 4-1 in his last 5. Last losing to Joaquin Buckley, and one of the better Joaquin Buckley performances I've seen. He's 31. On the other side, this tough enough alumni. Oh, sorry. He is minus 300 as the favorite, is Nursultan. This tough enough alumni, Mekonico, is plus 240. He's 34. He is 5-0 in his last 5. He's 9-2-1. I don't know anything about this dude. I know he's getting some knockouts on Tough Enough. Yep. Knockout, decision, and submission on Tough Enough. Not bad. Tough Enough is not the worst promotion ever. Nursultan Ruzabayev is a guy I think we still don't know a lot about. Knocking out Bruno Ferreira and Dumas.
The dumbass.
It's not really that impressive.
Knocking out Ferreira is sort of impressive.
Yeah, I mean, but if you go blow for blow with that dude, somebody's going down.
Right.
He really got exposed in the Joaquin Buckley match, but I think that it's more of a factor of like Joaquin Buckley is. I think that we've kind of just realized he's like kind of like a super athlete at this point,
and he's top 5 welterweight material.
So, we still don't know a lot about Ruzabayev, and he's fighting this guy on late notice. I'm guessing it has to be because I don't know why this guy is even fighting on this card. But regardless, I'm going with Ruzabayev by round 2 knockout. I think this guy should be a step below Ruzabayev, and this is what he should do. He should knock this guy out. So yeah, going Ruzabayev by knockout, second round.
Yep, and I'm going with him by first round knockout once again. Lots of shit happening early in these fights. Eric Mekonico has finished complete cans with even records on the regional MMA scene. Not on the same level that Ruzabayev has faced. He's a 205er, yet is shorter than former welterweight Ruzabayev. And though he has a longer reach, he clearly doesn't have the power that Nursultan does. He knocked out the dumbass, so he should knock this past his prime indie guy out. He doesn't have the wrestling of Joaquin Buckley, and Ruzabayev should be able to knock him out before this thing gets to the ground. Plus, Nursultan is more natural at middleweight, so he should look better here than in his last fight, even on short notice. Please don't be another Chris Taco Padilla, Eric. I beg of you. And Nursultan, do you mind giving Mekonico your black nickname? It actually makes sense for him to have it, and not you. Why the fuck do you have that nickname?
Wow, Rudda 9000 says he's got Eric Mekonico by decision. Wow, fading. The man from Uzbekistan.
That's insane.
Our friend in the chat.
Poor guy.
The next fight will be taking place at welterweight. They dug him up. They found him. Austin Vanderford taking on Nikolay Veretennikov. Vanderford, 12-2, plus 135 as the underdog. What? Sorry. That's crazy. He is he's 3-2 in his last 5. He's 34. Veretennikov is 12-5, 3-2 in his last 5 as well. Was on a 3-fight losing streak before losing his UFC debut against Danny Barlow. He's 35. So what do you know about Austin Vanderford?
He was in Bellator for a while, got knocked out by some big names, went to LFA, knocked some dude out with a jab, and is now here.
So he got knocked out. So Vanderford is so he is the wife of PVZ. Sorry,
what?
his wife is PVZ. Sorry, he's her husband.
Okay.
So he was on a sick run in Bellator, like a really damn good run. He's training partners with Johnny Eblen. And I believe Logan Storley is their training partner as well. Could be wrong about that. But anyway, so then he had this really sick run, went up against Gegard, and he got knocked out in vintage Gegard fashion, like probably Gegard's best performance in a long time, or just one of his best performances because he was going up against like an undefeated young dude. Huh?
Well, his best performance this year.
Well, this was like 3 years ago. But
yeah, I know.
Anyway, it was just sick to see Gegard just like school him. And then he lost to Aaron Jeffrey, who is another like really scrappy dude. I believe he has a mullet. But anyway, I guess didn't get re-signed. Didn't go to the PFL. Haven't heard from him in a long time. Like you said, knocked a guy out in LFA. Dude, I think that Austin Vanderford is a fantastic fighter. I have no idea why he's the underdog in this fight. On the other end, Veretennikov got a 3-fight win streak in a promotion called UFL, and then fought Danny Barlow, who is a decent fighter. Nothing special, but he lost a splitty to him. So I don't remember the fight
as well.
Okay, I don't remember the fight, but I do remember. I do know that Barlow is a decent fighter, and it was competitive. So, dude, Vanderford's got this. I'm gonna pick him by decision, dude. He's gonna be so jacked to be in the UFC. He only lost to Gegard in his first title opportunity, and then lost to Aaron Jeffrey. So I'm not really gonna hold those losses against him. I think that Vanderford is a fantastic fighter, really good striking, and even better wrestling. So yeah, give me Vanderford. The only thing is I think that Vanderford he can kind of lose steam as the fight goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Third round, he doesn't have as much cardio because he does a lot of groundwork, and like, he does a really good job mixing up the striking and the takedown. So I think that kind of wears on him. But usually it wears on his opponents more than him. So yeah, give me Vanderford. Easy money.
And I think I'm going to go with Vanderford too. You convinced me. This is one of the few picks where he was like, damn, he actually convinced me. I'm going to switch.
So you did have Veretennikov.
Yes,
heading in. Okay.
I did, just because I really liked his performance against Danny Barlow. I think he actually won that fight. I think they should not have given it to Danny Barlow. I liked what I was seeing from him technically on the feet. I think he was very good at staying away from danger. But I think what convinced me to pick him was that I didn't know as much about Austin Vanderford as you did. But you're telling me this guy was on a hot streak, and then the great Gegard Mousasi beat him, and then Aaron Jeffrey lost is a little bit, I'm not a fan of that, but he did look really good in LFA and got it done very easily. And aside from like top names in Bellator, like I don't think Veretennikov is a top name. So
yeah,
and Vanderford, with your experience knowing him, I think that you've convinced.
Yeah, I've seen many Austin Vanderford matches. The thing about him is he was on a really hot streak, and then he had 2 decision wins. The thing that happened was he beat Fabian Edwards to get the title shot with Gegard.
Right.
And I don't know if you know anything about Fabian Edwards, but it's the same as Leon.
Yeah, and Vanderford beat him.
But
he's your brother, right?
But it's the same thing as Leon. Like, you don't look good beating an Edwards brother on account of their very timid technical style.
So eventually they're going to get beat.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, the fight wasn't like a banger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On account of Fabian Edwards, his style. So I think that people were like, it wasn't that exciting of a fight, but he beat Fabian Edwards, and Fabian Edwards was the number one, that was the number one contenders fight. So then he quickly got knocked out by Gegard. Like, I'm talking like in the first round, it was like he got schooled by Gegard. Bouncing back to Aaron Jeffrey. So like, to me, I'm just like, dude, this dude's still got it. Like, I don't know. To me, him being a plus 135 underdog is kind of crazy to me, honestly.
All right.
But anyway.
Well, you've convinced me, so good job.
There you All right, Ricky Simone taking on Javid Basharat at bantamweight. Ricky Simone, 20-6 on a 3-fight losing streak. He is 3-2 in his last, 2-3 in his last 5. He is plus 230 as the dot. He is 32 years old. On the other side, you've got Javid Basharat, 14-1, minus 285 as the favorite. He's 29. Last losing to Ayman Zahabi, kind of was unexpected. Kicked Victor Henry in the dick, and then the referee was like, "You didn't get hit in the dick," and he's like, "Dude, my balls." I remember that.
Yeah,
was
bled out in the hospital.
Beating Mendonça. Tony Gravely was a good win at the time. Trevin Jones was a not so great win at the time. Ayman Zahabi beating him was really interesting. Basharat was never really able to get going. I like this fight. Ricky Simone was a guy that I had picked to beat Song Yadong back in the day. And he got knocked out and stopped, by Song Yadong. But I was really high on Ricky Simone. I love what this guy can do. But I don't know, man. There's just a case of like maybe Ricky Simone just doesn't have it anymore. His number one game is wrestling and cardio. And I think that the bantamweights in the division have just, exceeded his level of what he can do. He's 32 now in the prime of his career, taking on a young buck. This is definitely the biggest and most established UFC name that Basharat has faced. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna my heart says root for Ricky Simone. I hope he gets the win, but I'm gonna pick against him in this match. I'm gonna pick Basharat by decision. Let's see. Ricky Simone has lost by decision to Vinicius Oliveira and Bautista. And then he got knocked out by Song. So I think that he makes it the full distance. Maybe wins a round, but I think that Basharat wins 2 rounds handily. So
agreed. And I'm going with Basharat by decision. Ricky Simone hardly shot any takedowns against Vinicius Oliveira. The one advantage he had as a fighter was his wrestling, and it's all but disappeared these days. Javid is taller than Simone, like Oliveira was, and I think he has it technically on the feet enough to win, sting up Simone in moments, or at the very least stay out of trouble enough to take Simone down and win the rounds. I just really don't have confidence in Simone's ability anymore, and I think he'll be shown levels over 3 rounds by a rookie, sadly enough.
Rudda 9000's heading out. Hey, thanks for joining the chat, man. Good to have you here.
Thank you. The world of Basharat could get a finish. Yeah, it would be peace and the harmony on earth. The Snow Leopard's taking a big bite out of the Simonsa on Saturday. And maybe, just maybe, his family's favorite brother, Farid, will finally let him out of the favela basement and give him food to eat that isn't human flesh. So, give me Basharat.
These guys are from Afghanistan.
Oh. Out of his hut. Out of the basement of the hut.
Clay.
The clay structure.
Well, I mean, dude, to be fair, like, Persians are living in pretty lavish. They got nice carpets and, really nice.
Never mind. He's going to go back to living in luxury.
Mercedes. Yeah.
He probably has a snow leopard as a carpet.
Yeah. That's probably true. So, yeah, you think he gets it done by decision?
Yeah, I think he's better technically on the feet. And it seems like Simone's pretty gun-shy these days.
Yeah. Do you think Ricky Simone's washed?
I think after this fight he will be.
That sucks, man. I really did like Ricky Simone's game back in the day. Like I said, I just think
he had a good run.
I think that the skill level at bantamweight is just he's just bad. Like Marlon Moraes was a really sick fighter for a long time, and then just one day he just couldn't buy a win. So could see the same thing happen to Ricky Simone. I hope not. I hope he gets it done. So Nick Klein versus Mansour Abdulmalik at middleweight. 2 Contender Series alumni. Nick Klein is 6-1. He is plus 410 as the underdog. Jeez. 29 out of Wisconsin.
Blue collar
he
bullet.
Is 4-1 in his last 5. Mansour Abdulmalik is 7-0. Minus 560 as a favorite. Oh my gosh. He is 27. Undefeated. So I know that Mansour Abdulmalik got a really cool knockout to win his Contender Series fight, and I know that he knocked out Dusko Todorovic, who
yes,
it's pretty bad. blocks punches with his chin, but he's a guy that is dangerous. He can knock you out. So Mansour was like, cool, perfect fight for me. Cleaned him up, knocked him out.
Yeah.
Nick Klein, I know I watched this card that he was on the Contender Series, but I couldn't tell you anything about the guy. I don't remember it at all. It seems like we got grappler versus striker matchup, though. Nick Klein winning most of his fights by sub. I guess I'm just going to kind of ride with Hank the Tank's opinion on this one. I mean, what's the lowdown, my friend?
So, actually, Nick Klein was in the very last fight of Contender Series last year.
Okay.
And he was a pretty big underdog. And then he just took the guy down, found the back, rear naked choke. Like, I think it took him 35 seconds to beat him. Yeah. Wow. So it was a shocking moment. And then he was just like, yeah, dude, blue collar boy, I love you, family, dude, yeah. And he had a great
ties comment.
Crack O'Malley. Yeah. He's Shaggy from Scooby-Doo after too many Scooby snacks, if you will.
So like Steve.
Like I'm on a high right now. But yeah, Nick Klein had a great performance. Crazy come from behind underdog performance. No one saw it coming. And he told a great story as well, so that's why they let him in. But this guy, he usually does not do very well on the feet. And then let me get into my prediction. The first round knockouts keep on coming. I'm going with Abdul Malik by round 1 KO. Nick Klein had an amazing 30-second upset on Dana White's Contender Series. Blue collar boy got it done, brother. Yee! Getting his touted opponent Geraldo Souza down to the mat and sinking in the rear naked choke lickety split for the shockingly easy submission win. But lightning won't strike twice in his fight with Mansour Abdul Malik. As usually, if Klein can't get the quick submission, he crumbles. He gets beaten up on the feet and on the ground. Klein would
his last loss 2 years and 7 months ago in BTC by knockout.
Yeah,
I think it's a 2-1 guy. So.
Yeah. Klein would actually be a scary matchup for Mansour Abdul Malik if he had anything to show for in his striking game. But unfortunately, he doesn't. And with the strength of the meme that your Pokemon does runs here tomorrow, I don't think he'll have Mansour down on the canvas for very long. No diddy. He certainly won't knock Mansour down to do it. He just doesn't have the striking, man. And the reason why I say that if he had striking, he would win is because Mansour Abdul Malik actually took on Wes Schultz, who I sort of see as like a Nick Klein, but with more like advantages on the feet because he knocked down Mansour Abdul Malik. He actually beat him up, put him on the ground. I was like scared I was going to lose my pick. And then Abdul Malik came back and then just got the big ground and pound KO. But he was in trouble in that first round. But I just don't think that Nick Klein has anything for Mansour in terms of striking. This fight will likely be won on the feet or by ground and pound finish. And both those outcomes are happening as a result of a Mansour win. Klein fails the takedown, gets taken down himself, and then has his face pounded into the mat, no diddy, until Mario Yamazaki sees that he's gone out like a warrior. Give me Mansour by first round TKO.
I like Fistful of Others' takes on these fights. Appreciate you being active in the chat. He says, I don't like Malik. He's corporate created prospect, and Dana is trying to push him as the next John Jones. Isn't all that great.
Be like Mansour.
Round 1 KO, but I think he gets found out eventually.
Oh, he does.
Ty says probably Malik KO, but I think I can. Well, why would you bet on him? He's a minus 560. Makes no sense. But yeah, good to see this guy in the chat trying to pretend to be Rigo, I'm guessing. Anyway, the next fight will be Andre Touchy-Feely. Didn't Andre Feely just fight last week against Angela Hill?
Wait a minute. Are you saying those two look similar?
Kellen Souza and Andre Feely look exactly alike.
Wow.
Especially in her last fight. She looked exactly like am I wrong?
A little. I mean,
they look exactly the same.
Moves. He's got some moves. I will give you that, but
anyway,
doesn't have the weird like slicked back braids.
Sometimes he does.
Okay, anyway. I guess so.
Anyway, this is a featherweight match. Feely taking on Patchy Mix. Just kidding. That's Milkizio Costa. Andre Feely is 24-11. Jeez, long time vet. Win-loss. 3-2 in his last 5. This is a pick.
Never out for long.
Minus 110, near even. 34 years old. Costa is 21-7. Dude, guy's got just as many fights almost as old Andre Fili. Win loss too. 28. As I said, a pick 'em. Dude, featherweight and lightweight are sick divisions. This is a good fight. I would say that Costa has probably some more ground game advantages, and I think Fili has more of the striking advantage. Dude, Fili will look so good in a fight. And then he gets chinned immediately by Dan Ige, and then you're like, okay, well.
Such a great knockout, dude.
You're like, okay, well, now I don't know what to do, you know? Right. Dude, this is a tough one to pick. I think, again, we've seen the highs of Andre Fili, especially being 34 at featherweight. And we don't know how good Costa is just yet. Taking a step-up fight to kind of another, like, aging vet. And Thiago Moises and losing. Playing into his game, though, in my opinion. I just realized Costa is dropping down a weight class.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Was he a lightweight before? No, I thought it was a featherweight.
If he fought Moises
by like Steve Garcia, right?
If he fought Moises, he was a lightweight. I think Lingo is a featherweight.
Lingo's a featherweight.
Garcia's okay. And then Shailin Nurdenbeke.
Shia LaBeouf.
I don't think that guy's very good. He has a crazy record, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Pick 'em fight. Throwing a dart at the wall and gonna go Andre Fili by decision, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this will go to decision, though.
All right. I'm going with Fili by decision as well. Good pick. Unfortunately, Michael Jackson Costa's hot streak is getting slapped down and harassed by Andre Touchy Fili. No diddy. Although he could be a former member of his entourage with a name like that. Mel Coffee, or should I say Milk in his coffee.
I like to call him Patchy Mix.
Good old Patchy, yes. Of
but
course,
actually, you know what's crazy about Costa is they should update his picture because he's actually not as patchy.
Like he's in his Michael Jackson 90s phase.
No, yeah, he's getting it really cleared up. Whatever medication he's on is working.
Oh, but anyway, yeah, he does have solid wrestling, but not good enough to take Fili down. I don't think so. And on the feet, it isn't even close. Costa's going to get stung up if he keeps it on the feet. This is the guy that won a split decision against the guy who knocked out Billy Q at 40 years of age. Enjoy your retirement cup, please. He's going to look slick as ever on the feet against Milk. And if Costa can't latch up a body triangle or a sub, it's going to be a long and unhappy night for him. So give me Andre Fili here to show MJ a touchy-feely move or two down at the Neverland Ranch. Yes, did he? Oh!
Gotta hit the spin.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right. Boom. Our next fight is Ion Cutelaba versus Ibo Aslan. Jeez. Will Cutelaba show up as the Hulk for weigh-ins is the real question here. It's taking place at light heavyweight. Ion Cutelaba, dude, 18-10-1. He is 2-3 in his last fight. In his last 5. Sorry, he's 31. Dude, he seems like he's 100. And then Ibo Aslan is 14-1, undefeated in his last 5, minus 135 as the favorite out of Istanbul, Turkey.
Not Constantinople. No, you can't go back to Constantinople.
So, I think we're all very happy that Ibo Aslan had knocked out the Pleasure Man and got him out of the UFC.
Aw, come on.
What? You like the Pleasure Man?
It's the best nickname in all of UFC. He's the Pleasure Man.
He's not in the UFC.
No diddy.
And then he beat up that Can that's fighting earlier on the card. And then what can you even say about Cutelaba? I mean, negative fight IQ, but every time you're very certain that he's gonna lose viciously, he knocks out Tanner Bozer, or he loses a decision, and then he beats this guy Ivan Urslan by decision, which is crazy. Won by decision. So these guys are gonna throw bolos. Somebody's getting knocked out. I suspect it will be Ion Cutelaba that gets knocked out in the first round. But he could pull one out of his ass, and
Wow.
maybe you don't think there's what percentage do you give Cutelaba of winning?
I give him an all right chance. If it goes past the first round, I actually give him a pretty good shot.
Wow.
But I said pulled out of his ass because I meant that. I thought you meant that literally. That would have been quite the sight.
No, man, look, Ion Cutelaba is not a great fighter, but if you want to like have a scrap with dude, like, and you don't catch him, he could catch you. That's all I'm saying. Yep. But you got to punch his chance, I guess, is all I'm saying. So yeah, give me Aslan.
I'm going with the exact same prediction as you. I'm going with Ibo Aslan by round 1 KO. Ironically, Aslan's the green one going into this thing, not the Hulk, but he has the power and the skill to make up for that. Unlike KSW's Ivan Erslan, Aslan has some UFC experience, and I think cracks harder. Even if he doesn't, Ion only won a split decision against Ivan. Aslan should win a decision after 3 rounds, if it even comes to that. Aslan's the more devastating striker here, and if these two get in a scrap, I know who's getting chinned. Just watch Eon's last couple of fights with Ankalaev. I don't think Ibo's takedown defense is bad enough that he gets taken down over and over and over again. I think he keeps his composure and still wins if the fight goes long. But I expect Aslan to blitz Ion and come out the other end with a green head in his hand. So the new Hulk will be vanquished by the last Ottoman. Aslan! I knew you would come to save us, Aslan!
All right. Next fight will be...
The Wardrobe. Great franchise.
Yeah, I guess. The movie was all right back in the day. Alonzo Menafield versus Julius Walker. Who is Julius Walker? Just some guy?
Yeah, on the regional scene. Juice box.
All right. Fair enough. It's taking place at light heavyweight. Menafield 15-5-1. 2-2-1 in his last 5. He's 37. Minus 170 as the favorite. Julius Walker is undefeated. 25. Fighting a bunch of cans. Don't know why he's even here in this spot. Could be a case of, here comes this newcomer. Nobody knows anything about him, and he has a good performance, and he looks good, and he gets the win. But Menafield, and again, light heavyweight's terrible. It's a terrible division. But he lost to reputable names and guys that I think are pretty decent in the division. So I'm gonna pick Menafield here. I guess the real question is, does he get a stoppage? I'm gonna just play it safe and go by decision, because obviously I have no idea what Julius Walker is gonna do in there. Doesn't have really good guys on his record. Also, the 12-year age gap is interesting too. But I think that Menafield's fighting for his job here, unfortunately.
Pretty much.
But again, I rate him getting a win over Dustin Jacoby. So just based off that alone, I'll pick him to win by decision.
And I am picking Alonzo Menafield to win by round 3 knockout. Picking Alonzo to get the knockout late here out of respect for Julius Walker and his wrestling ability. The dude puts his opponents in a box. A juice box. And then tears into them on the mat for ground and pound TKO after ground and pound TKO. No diddy. But Alonzo Menafield is no slouch in the wrestling either. He successfully guillotined Jimmy Crute and found success on the ground against Dustin Jacoby as well. So the wrestling, I think, is going to be neutralized here for either side. And on the feet, I really doubt that Walker, no, not glass-chinned Walker or Mike Mucus Walker, can just chin Alonzo on the feet in one round, unless Menafield does something stupid, like rush in with reckless abandon, swinging for the fences in the first round. But there's no way he'd do that, right? Even if he did, Orange Julius isn't an elite kickboxer sniper like Carlos Olberg. He's mostly a wrestler. Oh, you're a wrestler now. And I think Alonzo's good enough that he stuffs his shit and beats him up on the feet until he crumbles in round 3. This time, Alonzo finally gets to drop the atomic bomb again on Japan. Julius. And he's drinking the Orange Julius juice box dry. No diddy. So, yeah, I think Menafield
sound really diddy.
No.
All right. Next fight is a banger.
Set a record.
It's Gian Silva versus Melsik Bagdasarian at featherweight. Gian Silva, 14-2, 5-0 in his last 5, minus 575 as the favorite. God damn. He's 28. Bagdasarian 8-2. 4-1 his last 5 plus 425 as the dog out of Armenia 33. So Melsik Bagdasarian got in the UFC by beating Dennis Bazooka 4 years ago. Since then, had a sick win over Colin Anglin, beat Bruno Silva, not sure which one, or Souza, sorry. Don't even know who that is. Got subbed by Kulabau, and then won a decision over Tucker Lutz. Hard fought decision. Melsik Bagdasarian, fantastic kickboxer. But I think, and the odds are reflective that Gian Silva is just kind of on a different level. Dude is mad dangerous, dude. Gosh, this guy just kind of came out of nowhere too,
in the cage and in real life.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Man is mentally unstable.
Yeah, dude is mad dangerous. Got skills everywhere, it seems, and it just seems like he's got like, I don't know if it's like unreal power or if it's just like timing and speed and really technique. He's just got everything as far as striking goes, man. He's him. He's gotta hurt you. He'll knock you out. First guy to finish, Charles Jourdain. Ooh, man, this is a dangerous fight for Melsik Bagdasarian. Though I do think that he has maybe the best kickboxing that anybody Gian Silva has faced in the UFC. Right. Strictly stand-up kickboxing ability. But I think that Gian Silva is going to wear on dude, and he's going to stop him. Probably we'll go third round. It is possible that Melsik survives, but it's a really tough fight for Melsik, man.
Yeah, and I'm going with Silva by round 2 knockout. Melsik Bagdasarian's nickname is the Gun, but he's mostly
it should be the Bag.
Yeah,
the bag.
The bag. That's pretty good. You should work for the UFC's marketing team. But he's mostly shooting BB pellets at range. Now, granted, he shoots them in a very entertaining way, and it's very fast and slick with his combinations. But there really isn't a chance that he chins Gian Silva here, especially given how batshit insane Gian Silva is. Melsik could land a front kick right on Gian's face and break his nerd glasses, and Silva would just laugh it off and touch gloves with him. The dude's different. He's him. No, is he? Gian, Lord of the featherweight division Silva, has precise and brilliantly creative combinations. And when he wants to be, he can even take down Melsik if he needs to. He's too OP for his weight class. And Melsik, as talented a striker as he is, will be no match for the unpredictable and brutal striking of Gian Silva, especially if he wears his Eminem 8 Mile hoodie down to the cage and mean mugs the camera. Essentially, Gian will hit Melsik with an uppercut or a hook that puts him away, and then he will cry about how he broke his spine in several places falling down an elevator shaft, and still manage to get himself in ready shape for fight day. So never change, Gian, never change.
Yeah, we're picking Gian Silva. All right, our next fight will be a really strange fight. Rob Font versus Gian Matsumoto on short notice, I believe. Yeah, it's taking place at a catch weight of 140, which is weird. It's also weird. Anyway, Rob Font is 21-8. He is 2-3 in his last 5, plus 130 as the dog. He's 37. Matsumoto undefeated, minus 175 is the favorite. He's 25. So Rob Font beat up Kyler Phillips. And I picked Kyler Phillips to win that, but I think maybe we should have seen it coming. I think I said as much in the post-fight show. Like, Kyler Phillips just gasses. He's got a lot of skills, but I think that he's kind of fallen off a cliff, and Rob Font kind of had like a y'all must have forgot moment against Kyler Phillips. Lost handily to Davison Figueiredo. Lost to Corey Sandhagen. Beat Yanez by KO. And lost to Marlon Vera.
Close fight.
No, it wasn't a close fight.
Well, he was beating him up until Marlon would just drop him and win a round.
Yeah. So, like, it's interesting you mentioned that because, like, in my opinion, the fight wasn't close, but the striking stats would have you believe that the fight was insanely competitive, but it just wasn't. Like, Rob Font would land a bunch of pitter-patter strikes on Vera, and then Vera would hurt him. So
I mean, it's what Vera does. He gets beat up and then he hurts you.
On the other side, Gian Silva, had a war with Brad Katona, subbed Dan Argueta, and then got into the UFC off a decision win. But I think that Matsumoto is a fantastic fighter. Very exciting. This is a tough one. I want to pick Rob Font because it seems like he just kind of is the prospect killer at this point.
Yep.
Kind of the gateway keeper to not like, maybe the gateway to like being ranked and maybe not even being ranked at this point. At one point,
Just
probably
having anything at bantamweight.
Yeah, for sure. Matsumoto coming in on short notice kind of plays into that for me. Obviously the age difference is heavy. 37 for Rob Font, 25 for Gian Matsumoto. That alone makes me want to pick Matsumoto. Also, like, you went to war with Brad Katona. You probably should have gotten him out of there. But Matsumoto is really young, improving all the time, we think. Man, dude, this is a tough one. This is a tough one for me. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for Hank. Really make a decision here.
All right, I'm going with Font. Going with Font by decision, just because I think Gene Matsumoto isn't as good as Kyler Phillips, and
really
freaking schooled Kyler Phillips. Yeah, dude, he almost lost to Brad Katona. Dude, I thought Brad Katona beat him.
Really,
I thought it was a little crazy that he won by unanimous. To be honest, I was not impressed.
I'm
not impressed by his performance.
Okay.
Also, Dan Argueta was I'd say doing pretty well in the wrestling against him before he got that guillotine choke. So,
I mean, Dan Argueta is mostly a wrestler, though.
Yeah, but I just haven't seen a performance from Gene where it's just like, wow, he schooled him. Wow, that was a fantastic Matsumoto performance that put him on the map. It's always very close with him. He doesn't like win in dominant fashion, whereas I feel like Rob Font, he dominated Kyler Phillips. He schooled him.
Yeah, he did.
And against young guys, I just feel like he just beats them. He just destroys them or figures them out to like he sees where they're an amateur and just takes full advantage of that. I think Gene Matsumoto, if he's almost going to lose to Brad Katona in the boxing, I think Rob Font's going to school him in the boxing, in my opinion.
That's a Big Red for re-upping his membership.
Let's
appreciate
go,
you, my friend. Good friend of mine, Mr. Big Red Dylan.
Yes,
Matsumoto hasn't faced the best competition. I agree with that. I don't know. He showed me a lot in that Brad Katona fight, but again, it's also against Brad Katona. So, and it was a war, which it didn't need to be, but it was a fantastic fight.
Yeah. For that reason, I just think this is the kind of fight that Font wins. He's like not doing well at first, and then he resurges and comes back and beats him up.
Okay. Do you think if the fight is a war, can Rob Font go through that and still get a win?
I think he can because I don't trust the punching power of Gene Matsumoto. We haven't seen it yet.
All right, fair enough. I think you've convinced me to pick Rob Font by decision. But I don't know, man. I think Gene Matsumoto might surprise people, but that's just me. What are the odds on this fight? Wow. So how confident are you in Rob Font winning?
I'm fairly confident just because I really respected the striking of Kyler Phillips, and then I just saw him get broken down.
Fantastic. All right. Co-main event
at middleweight
is Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. Number 2, I guess they fought in LFA before. Hernandez getting a decision win over Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen, 24-6. He is 4-1 in his last 5, plus 225 is the dog. He's 29 fighting out of Covington, Louisiana. I've been there.
Did you see Colby there?
No, he lives in Florida.
Darn.
Going up against Anthony Hernandez, 13-2, 5-0 in his last 5, minus 285 is the favorite. He's 31. All right. So Brendan Allen, his last fight was a loss to Imavov 4 months ago.
Never unnecessary.
I was surprised. The fashion in which Brendan Allen had lost that fight, because to me, I thought it would be a lot more competitive, and it just wasn't. Nasruddin kind of nullified.
He just was like a mousetrap for him. He just stuck.
Yeah, everything that Brendan Allen was good at, like, he didn't get to show in the Nasruddin Imavov fight, and I feel like he had opportunities. On the other side, when you talk about Anthony Hernandez, like, how does anybody beat Anthony Hernandez at this point, dude?
Go to the body. Go to the body.
Yeah, that's right. He did get hurt to the body by Pereira. And
He always
also,
gets hurt
like,
to the body.
the one thing about Anthony Hernandez is he isn't in the, like, it's kind of like a Jamal Hill factor, right? Where he doesn't come into fights like in crazy ripped shape.
Right.
But somehow he still just has just insane cardio. Dude, like I said, I don't know how you beat this man. I don't know if he'll be champion, but dude, this guy's going to be a problem in the middle. He already is.
He will. Yeah. I think he's going to be a top 5 problem.
You would think Brendan Allen could keep up with Hernandez, but eventually it's not going to happen. And if this was 5 rounds, I'd pick Hernandez to sub him in the 4th. Yeah. I think there's a chance he could get a sub in the 3rd. But I think I have a lot of respect for Brendan Allen, but I just don't know after that Nasruddin Imavov performance. It wasn't the same Brendan Allen. Also, that was in the Apex, right?
Wait, Imavov versus Allen? That was in the Paris card in front of his French crowd.
Okay.
It was the same one that Battle got his knockout over, did you say?
Okay. I'm going to pick Hernandez by decision, but I'm more just like, Brendan Allen had a sick run, and he never has like a showcase performance where you're like, he never puts a stamp. I mean, he kind of does. Here, let me see. Sorry. Curtis going to decision, subbing Paul Craig, subbing Bruno Spelisi, Muniz, sub. It's just like,
he lost his ability as of late.
Yeah, and I think it's because he's fighting higher and higher level guys. You know, pretty simply.
I think Anthony's pretty high level.
Yeah, give me Hernandez decision pretty easily. I think that Brendan Allen has sufficient striking, so if he can keep it on the feet, he could probably get the dub. But outside of that, I think Hernandez just wears on him and does Hernandez things to Brendan Allen.
I think so too. I think it plays out a lot because this is a rematch. They actually fought before, and Hernandez won pretty decisively. I think he can take Brendan Allen down again. Again, if Nasruddin Imavov can keep, Allen down on the ground, and even Chris Curtis, dude, when he was beating up Brendan Allen, Allen would like shoot for the takedown, and Curtis would stuff it, and dude, Allen would just get stuck. He'd just like hang out on the canvas, and you can't do that against Anthony Hernandez. Like if you allow yourself to be down on the canvas, he will make sure to grab your back. He will get you in a hold where he's just beating the shit out of you on the ground. I think there can't be one moment where Allen makes a mistake and finds himself on the mat. Because if he does, it's just going to be a Hernandez fight for 3 rounds, in my estimation. And I think it's been too long since Allen has looked like really good on the feet for him to like show the mind to like go to the body. He's a guy who like just swings, and trades until he catches you on the feet. And that's just that's a style that I think Hernandez is honestly even better than Allen at. He can make it a fucking scrap, boom, 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 and then go in for the takedown. So I just think Hernandez is better everywhere, pretty much. So yeah, I think he's a more superior version of Brendan Allen. So
yeah, 100%.
For that reason, I'm going with him by decision, pretty clear. Although he could lock up a sub, you never know, especially if Allen does something stupid.
100%. So we get in the main event. Henry Cejudo's Swan Song, maybe, versus Song Yadong.
It's Swan Song. It's Song.
This is taking place at bantamweight. Henry Cejudo, 16-4, 3-2 in his last 5, 38. On the other side, you have Song Yadong, 3-2 in his last 5 as well, but not on a 2-fight losing streak. He's 21-8 and 1. Jeez, he's so young and he has extensive record. Training over there with Uriah Faber at Team Alpha Male. So Song Yadong's last fight was a loss against Buterian. And Cejudo's was a loss to Merab, and then he lost the split decision to Aljo. Man. It's an interesting match because kind of classic striker versus grappler. I've seen Song Yadong get out wrestled and just not look super great. But I've also seen him go up against guys that he was supposed to get out wrestled by and whoop him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's unpredictable when it comes to the scrambles.
People saying Henry Cejudo is washed. And obviously, when you look at the age difference, like 27 versus 38,
at bantamweight.
yes, 100%. I don't think Henry Cejudo's washed. He's not the Henry Cejudo of old. And he got clowned by Merab, dude. Like, straight clowned by him. I mean, there was one moment in the fight.
Merab, you could argue he's the greatest bantamweight of all time right now.
I'm not going to go that far just yet. But there was one point in the fight where he had picked up Cejudo and he like was carrying him around the ring, and you're just like,
that was a great moment.
Oh my gosh,
this EPL machine.
On another level.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. I think the smart move is picking Song Yadong. But there is a chance that Henry Cejudo wins this. I'm interested in this match, but not really. And honestly, dude, after going through this entire card, it's fine. But
yeah, main event,
nothing is really getting me jazzed. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Song by decision. I think that he, I don't think that he stops Henry. I think just wins 3 rounds.
5 rounds. This is a 5-rounder. But yeah,
that's why I said that's why I said he wins 3 rounds.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh, 3 out of the 5, got it. All right, yeah, I'm going with Song too. The reason being that I think Henry Cejudo is less good at keeping his opponents down than Peter Yan is. I think Peter Yan's a fantastic wrestler, just super quick, gets the timing of his opponents, like, counter responses really like dialed in. Whereas like Henry Cejudo, even against DJ, the man he won the flyweight title from, he was like, I held you down for 5 seconds, and then he got right back up. Everybody thinks like Cejudo, oh man, he's an Olympic wrestler, and so he's just dominates on the ground. He doesn't. Like especially at bantamweight, I don't think he's going to. If you recall, he got a lot of his championship defenses and wins in by striking. He's actually a very underrated striker. He cracked Merab on the feet when O'Malley couldn't. So
fantastic point.
I think honestly his best chance is to win on the feet here against Song Yadong. I think in the wrestling, I think like you said, Song can be unpredictable when it comes to the scrambles, but sometimes he just does really well. And I think especially against someone who can't keep his opponents down for a very long time, like Henry Cejudo, I don't think he's going to be that much of an issue for Song Yadong. I think he's going to beat up Cejudo on the feet. I don't think Henry is. I don't think he's ever been finished. Well, he got finished by DJ, but that was long ago, and ever since he's never been finished. So for that reason, I don't think he gets knocked out. I think Song sort of like has a Chris Gutierrez performance, or like a Ricky Simone, where it's like, oh man, it's sort of even a little bit. Oh, I mean, he's trying to knock him out, but he can't. But he just does enough. Oh, we got that takedown. Oh, we got that 1-2 that wins him the round.
Yeah.
And Song wins the decision, and good for Song Yadong, dude, because this is like the 3rd time that he's gone against a matchup that could potentially get him into like pretty high rankings in the bantamweight division. First it was Corey, then it was Peter, and honestly that was a pretty close fight against Peter Yan, and now I think he's finally going to break through here against Henry Cejudo. So good for Song Yadong.
Do you think Song Yadong's ever champion?
No. No, I think he's too vulnerable. I mean, he's vulnerable in both striking and in grappling, because that fight with Chris Gutierrez, I was not impressed at all.
Too many deficiencies.
Exactly. But he wins this one.
All right, so we're both pretty set on. Okay, let me save my picks.
Yeah, we had a lot of picks that we agreed on. Did we disagree?
I think this card. I think we did on a couple. I honestly don't remember. But
Silva, Menefield, Aslan, Billy, Abdul Malik, Basharat. We were gonna disagree on Nicolay, but you convinced me to change my pick. No, dude, we agreed on every single.
Oh no!
But so it's all going to come down to the method. All going to come down to the method of victory.
All right, good stuff. Fistful of Levis says this is such a banger. It's a decent fight. I don't know. It would be more exciting if Cejudo wasn't like 38.
Yeah, or if Dominic Cruz didn't pop out his shoulder again.
Yeah, this card definitely got cannibalized. Ty's got Cejudo. Dylan says, has anyone had a more unfortunate anti-foreshadowing UFC debut than Anthony Hernandez? What was his debut?
Did he get destroyed in his debut?
I don't remember.
Let me look that up. I bet he got punched to the body.
Going with Song Yadong, no Diddy, 100%. Song is gonna get wrestle F. Ooh, Your dog is soft. Hey, nobody's supposed to know about that.
Yeah. Hey, I practice, all right?
No. Fistful of others disagreeing. Rob, the king of using optics to his advantage in the fights, carrying Cejudos across the cage, taunting Umar. Yeah, I don't know about king, but he's definitely a crazy person. Cejudo is in the same. Yadong takes it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he had a fight with Jordan Wright that got overturned to a no contest for some reason.
Interesting.
And then Marcus Perez just put him in an anaconda choke.
Okay. Yeah, you know what's funny is, have you ever heard an interview with Anthony Hernandez?
He's an angry dude, isn't he?
No, he doesn't. He I watched back when I used to watch Ariel Hawani's show, which has been
great.
I watched an interview with him, and he was just like, "What do you think about this guy? And what do you think about this fight?" He's like, "Dude, I don't watch fights." He's like, "Dude, I just be on hanging out with my chickens and my kids." You're just like,
that explains why he's so dominant, man.
Dude just doesn't give a single fuck about anything. It's awesome.
Good for him.
Cejudo's gonna snatch your dog and slam it.
Yikes.
Fade full Asian fighters, especially. Wow. Stop Asian hate.
Yeah, exactly.
If Song can make improvements, I think he could be champ someday.
Nah.
Not in this division, bro.
He's too small.
He could be champion in PFL or one. In my opinion, the only thing keeping Song from beating Yan was a couple of takedowns.
That's true. That's actually true.
Interesting. Fluffy folds sometimes. He's too cocky. I think if he was in better shape, I would be much more confident in his abilities. But like I said, the guy just doesn't give a fuck. But anyway, dude,
you know what I'm looking most forward to on the Seattle card?
Tell me.
The crowd, because it's been a very long time since the UFC has been in Seattle. It's been like years.
Dude, I would love to go to. I would go to this, but I just can't justify spending $300 for a nosebleed seat.
Yeah, that's
understandable. And then $1,000 for a good seat. It doesn't make sense.
Scrooge Uncle Fester.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Anthony Hernandez then went and lost from
first kick. Oh yeah, against Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland in under 40 seconds.
Destroyed.
Interesting.
Bad early
from Seattle. Well, hey man, when I come back to Seattle, we'll have to link up, Ty. Go there quite often. I had to fade the tickets when Cruz stopped. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny is, I guarantee you after this card, Dana White gets on the microphone and he's like, "We broke the attendance. We broke the sales record for a live event in the state of Washington." You know, it's like, all right, yeah, thanks for telling us. Literally every event, you're robbing the fans. You know, appreciate that, buddy.
Well, fine. How about it?
Good to see you. Hey, yeah, he's been a member for a month, dude. Cheddarhead. Thank you, my friend. The crowd is full of hippies and
wow,
autonomous city
street urchins.
Dude, so every time I go to King County, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. There's a lot of homeless people. Seattle's a weird.
Passed away.
There's a lot of Seattle's a weird city because you'll just be walking downtown. Oh, the building, Pike's Place Market, and then it's oh, there's a tent in the middle of the sidewalk. It's not even off to the side, where the homeless encampment. It's on the sidewalk. You have to step over bums.
Hey, there's a dude taking a shit in the street.
Yeah. Ty says King County is full of gays, homeless, and savages. Shout out to Aurora Street.
Wow.
Tacoma's another really weird town. Driving through downtown Tacoma, you'll see pride flags everywhere. And you're like, is there a gay pride parade going on today? No, that's just Tacoma.
Yeah.
That's just Tacoma. You're like, okay.
Then, man.
Interesting. We broke the attendance record for Seattle. We've been there once in the last 12 years. Yeah, of course.
Still a record. Good.
All right, guys. It's 10 minutes to 2 hours we've been streaming, so I think we got to cut this one. Got to cut it off. Hank, what's going on for the rest of the week as far as your streaming schedule?
I'm not sure, man. I think I'm going to do Hank's Think Tank either tomorrow or on Thursday. And then Friday, probably going to do some solo stream shit, work on some videos. And then Saturday, we're going to do Hank the Tank's Fight Companion. Actually, you know what? Dude, they got the boxing card's this Saturday morning. I'm going to do a big-ass Fight Companion. I'm going to do boxing, and I'm going to do Seattle. So that's the plan.
How much of that giant Fight Companion will you enjoy is the question.
0.1%.
0.1%.
Hey, there's something I like. I'll enjoy it. Dude, it's got a fucking super boxing card, and it's got a solid Seattle card. I'm going to enjoy it.
Try to enjoy yourself. Take breaks. Use the intermission video.
Agreed.
Hey, Ty, dude, you got to chill. Dylan is a good homie of mine, and you got to chill. I don't know what
Dylan would KO everybody in King County.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a Rise Fight Companion. Guys, I dropped the ball last week. Didn't get an MMA Nerd episode out. Didn't do a post show.
It's all good, man. These things
happen. Do a live chat. Things are not going well for this guy here.
Take a break, man.
A lot of personal shit going on. It's been a rough week. One of the roughest weeks in a long time for me. But I'll give you guys a Rise Fight Companion. Nobody will watch it, but I love me some Rise. So, yeah. And I'll try to get back to it. Get an MMA Nerd episode out. But yeah, man. So appreciate all you guys joining the show. How long have we been doing this for?
Since April of last year, 2024. We're coming up on our 1 year anniversary.
Highs and lows of the show. At one point,
yeah,
Hank and I were just yelling at each other every stream. Hank more than me, and I was antagonizing him constantly. But we're in a good flow.
Yeah, we're in a good spot.
So check it out, man. We got a lot of content for you guys. Lots of interesting stuff
for you guys, dude. For you guys.
So, anyway, Hank, lead us out.
You have escaped the concrete jungle. For now, Sunday morning is every day for all I care, and I'm not scared. Light my candles in a daze, 'cause I found God.